Alright, ladies and gents, welcome back to another video. And today we are going to be watching a good friend of mine, and he's going to be demonstrating to us one of the best battles I have ever watched. Um, Here's his mission for you, real quick. So he needs to do 5k blocked, and he needs to do 3k damage for the primary condition. So, he is playing the IS-3-2. Now, in my opinion, this is one of the best tanks at Tier 9. Very good turret, decent penetration. The gold pen is 300 millimeters, so really decent gold pen for a Tier 9 heavy tank. And also, as well, the tank in general is just an absolute beauty. Just the capabilities and the flexibility it has with the double guns just makes this tank an absolute menace. And it couldn't really be that much. It can't really be considered much of a bad tank at all. So he's going to use premium rounds, of course, because he's going to be fighting some tier 9s with some good armor. And we're going to watch and see what he can do here. So, right off the bat, we see that there's no artillery, and he's going to be pre-reading some salvos, and he's going to get a nice salvo there onto the 703. Does low roll, but nonetheless still a very beautiful 700 damage. So the IS-3, he's actually going to be 3-marking this tank this game, and also he's going to be getting a Kalabanov's medal this game, and we're going to watch and see how he does that. So he's pretty much got an easy pen on the Skoda, can overmatch his turret with APCR because of how good the pen is, like I said. The base pen is still pretty good too. I would say that the IS-2-2, the IS-3-2 are by far really good tanks. If you play correctly, they're a little hard to play. However, I believe that the 703 is also just as good as the IS-2-2, but with different situations. The 703 is more known for those big 122 millimeters and for its more effective armor than the IS-2-2. However, the IS-2-2 does have better accuracy. It has better DPM. Although the one thing I don't like about the 703 as well is that its gun handling is good, but its accuracy again isn't great, which is kind of disappointing, to be completely honest. So we've watched Captain pretty much just punish the enemy pretty well here. He's got almost 3,000 damage already, and he's done that very, very easily. The salvo makes it really nice for burst damage, and also if he needs to, you can, like I said, you can play this. You can play double barrels 3 ways. You can salvo. You can fire single and wait for both guns to be reloaded, or you can fire one directly after the other right once they're loaded, which is kind of like more of a rapid fire mode. Um, that was a beautiful pen too, by the way, on that Skoda. Very, very nice there. Anyway, as I was saying, I think that the ST2 is just a huge disappointment. The only thing it really has going for it at tier 10 is the alpha. Very unfortunate bounce there, by the way. And I feel that the alpha is good for 440, so you can, if you high roll, you can do nearly 1,000 with a salvo. And also its armor is overall like good against tier 8s. It for tier 9s and 10s spamming gold, which most of the time they will, it's honestly pretty disappointing. And that's why I feel like the IS-3-2 is the best double barrel tier for tier. 703, like I said, the 703 in them are good, but I like I like that the IS-3-2 has gun depression. Like I said, it has turret armor. It's fairly mobile. It does have a big IS-3 shaped hull, so you can get the bounces on the hull if you're pointing directly at, and they don't shoot your lower glacis because you have 3 of them. And yeah, yeah, the IS it doesn't have cupolas like the ST2 has. The ST2 is surprisingly the only double barrel that has a cupola. Is what I meant to say. And because of that, I've been cupola spammed pretty easily in that tank, and I feel that yeah, it's just a major disappointment compared to the rest of the double barrels. But yeah, anyway, we're watching Captain here just rock the enemy. Unfortunate snapshot miss there. But now Captain has reached over 5,000 damage, and he's done this pretty easily, if I'm honest. Hasn't lost any HP yet, so he is doing really well. And at the moment, they're starting to lose base. The South is unfortunately being pushed, and they're not going to last too long there. The last two guys, I think, what is that, a TVP and a Scorpion. As we can see, the TVP just died. So now Captain's going to try to fall back, and he's going to try and get some shots on people in the south. He was hoping that the Char was maybe going to poke, and he just decided to fire a single here right there. Unfortunately, the shell does drop, and it does miss. But still, nonetheless, this is going to be a very, very, very interesting ending. And like I said, I told you the results. And yeah, I wonder, let me know what you guys think in the comments of what you guys think of this replay, because this by far is one of the best replays that I've ever seen. As far as a 3-mark game and just in general a Call of Banoffs. This is the very first Call of Banoffs that I've witnessed and that I've featured on the channel. Again, unfortunate miss there with the salvo on the Char. The Char moved just in time. Yeah, there's nothing much that he can do about that there. So he can't really push any more forward because otherwise he's going to be in a massive crossfire. He does have the Scorpion behind him, so if he does get flanked on the 8-9 line and 0 line, then he will be okay. Although it looks like that Scorpion is running away. The other remaining heavies are trying to kind of make a push there on the enemy base, which is a little interesting. I'm not sure how well that's going to go. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. So like I said, Captain can't really do anything. This is probably one of the better positions he can be in. He can use the hills and he can use the terrain here and the buildings for cover if he needs to. They are starting to cap base, so Captain may have to do something here relatively soon, depending on how long they stay on base there. So now he's decided to move up. He's going to try to see if he can deal with that Lancin, but no need. The Scorpion does help, but unfortunately he also does get punished by the enemy Leopard. So now, Captain is just going to keep moving forward as he has to. He does spot the AMX, however, and he's going to fire a single. That resets Cap, and he does get a little bit of a high roll there, only by 2 damage, though, unfortunately. And he does finish off that AMX for his 3rd kill, and that now brings him to nearly 5.6k damage. He does hit a nice little snapshot there, too, as well, on the Concept 1B. Honestly, if I were him, I would have peeked this. He did bounce that. I think he hit the bottom of the turret or something like that. And unfortunately, the Concept does snap him, which is very unfortunate. But now, Captain's just going to rush in here to his side, but he doesn't need to. He can pen his upper Glacis with a PCR, and he does take him out. And that does bring him over 6,000 damage. So now he's brought it from a 1v5 to a 1v4 just moments before he killed the Concept 1B, and this is where his HP is extremely vital, and it's a good thing that he didn't really lose much HP from earlier, because now it's going to help him being able to carry this game. So he spotted the Centurion there, and he is going to take him out. Now he's at 5 kills and just under 6.4k damage. Yeah, he's going to have a rest of the game. So he's decided to kind of start moving a little bit because he's kind of in a crossfire. The enemy could come around from the side there, from the north as well, and from the west as well. So he has to be careful. He's just decided to run away, relocate, you know, hopefully he wants to try to fool the enemy and catch one of them off guard, as he does here the Char. Unfortunately, he's not in the greatest position right now to deal with him, so he has no choice but to back up and to let the Char move in or poke if at all possible. So he is gonna aim a little bit. It looked like that hit. I'm not sure, so we'll have to wait and see afterwards when I show you guys the game results of this. And from the damage that he took, it looks like that might... I honestly can't tell. I don't remember what HP he was at before, but I believe he actually did hit that blind shot. And now he spotted the Scorpion, so he has no choice but to run, because now he is in a crossfire, and he doesn't know where the Leopard is either. So he has to be very careful here. He has to kill the Leopard, and he has to kill that Scorpion especially, because it will make dealing with the Char a lot easier. He could focus the Char too. The only issue is that the Leopard and the Scorpion have really, really good guns. The Scorpion does peek. Unfortunately, Captain does miss that shot, so he has to be very careful now. The Leopard is deciding to peek. Captain's going to try to get a couple shots here into him. as he peeks through these buildings here, and just what luck, just snaps the top of the Leopard's turret, and that does bring him to his 6th kill and his Top Gun medal. And he is going to fire at the Scorpion. He does high roll for 400, however, and unfortunately at the wrong time, the Char does come up behind him and does ammo rack him. But Captain, all he has to do is ram him and shoot him once, and the Char is a goner just like that. That now brings him to over 7,000 damage and 7 kills. So all he has to do is one-shot this Scorpion, and he can get a, what is it, a Radio Alters, I think, is the 8 kills, and he'll end over 7k damage. And he will wrap this up. So it's a good thing that they kind of pushed him like one by one. Like first the Leopard kind of did, and then the Scorpion kind of did as well at the same time, but not really. And then later on the Char came, and they weren't all YOLOing him, and that allowed him to win this battle. And it made it really nice for Captain as well this game. So he's just going to go hunt the Scorpion now. He does have to be careful, though, because if the Scorpion high rolls, he can one-shot him. So he does have to be pretty careful there. And we're just going to watch him flank around and see what he can do. At this point, I don't know if the Scorpion's headed north. We don't know if he's headed south. Most likely he's headed south in the corner because I think Captain most likely would have spotted him going north because he has the V range, and also he has the he's close enough to where he will outspot the Scorpion pretty easily. So yeah, very interesting choice here of what Captain's doing. I think the best option is what he's doing too. I think he's going to go Cap base, and that will allow him to draw the Scorpion to him, and because the Scorpion's obviously more maneuverable than he is. Even though he has a turbo, the Scorpion's just in general a very good tank, and one of its benefits is the mobility. So Captain's not going to want to chase him around. Captain wants him to come. So the only way that Captain can make the Scorpion come to him is if he makes him if he caps the base. That will draw the Scorpion near. As long as the Scorpion doesn't start capping before before Captain does, then he'll be fine. So what he's going to do is he's going to use his ally Skoda, and he's going to back up to him, and he's going to set him in a way to where his rear is going to be covered, and to where he's going to be facing the opposite direction. And what this does is this allows Captain to react and have some cover from the rear if the Scorpion comes from behind, and if he comes from the forward, he'll have an easy shot on him, and he will kill him for the very, very, very last kill of the game. So we're just going to wait and watch. I don't know when the Scorpion comes. It's soon. He hears some knocking stuff over, and I don't know if that's a Scorpion or if that was actually him, but it sounded like that was him. So he should be coming here relatively soon. So he's keeping an eye on both in front and behind him, and just going to be patient here as long as he can. Just let the cap play out. How long will it take, ladies and gents? That is the question. He's so close to capping the base. 15 seconds. Where is that squirp at? What's gonna happen, guys? There he is. Nice. And that, ladies and gents, is the best 3-mark game I have witnessed. Congrats, Captain, on making your 3rd mark of excellence, and congrats on your very first Kalabanov's medal as well. Let's see how he did. So, of course, he got the Mastery Badge for the 7K. He got his 3-mark, and also he made some nice credits there. There's I believe the Radio Walters, there's the Kalabanov's, the Top Gun medal, and the high caliber as well. And as we can see from that session, he did average nearly 5,000 damage. So congratulations to you, Captain. Thank you for sending in this replay. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you so much. I will catch you guys all later.